Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Good morning. Welcome to the James Raiz Morning Show. It's 4:30 in the a.m. on December 12th, 2022, coming down to the end of the year. And we are going to go ahead and finish this Barney as Godzilla piece. And good morning. Good morning to everybody. Good to see everybody piling in on the chat here today. Still figuring out how to do this multi-streaming, so I did a little bit of trying fixing this morning, trying to get that prepared. Also, to everyone who, everybody who likes to listen to the podcast, I think I got it fixed. So I'm going to be putting up the previous few days podcasts up today, okay, including this one. So expect like 3 podcasts out today, but hopefully. I'm trying to make these podcasts so that it's a little bit more evergreen, a little bit more so that you guys can listen to it no matter what day it is. That's why I always like to start off the podcast talking about a story or talking about a relevant topic that's not really time sensitive. Oh, I put my glasses on. I can't see you guys. I can't see you guys. I gotta put my glasses on. Oh, now I can see. All right, there you go. So we're going to talk about that today because the news of the day, guys, news of the day. A lot of DC stuff going on, eh? A lot of DC stuff going on today. So we're going to talk a lot of DC today. So I also thought, because of all the DC news, let's fix my microphones here. Because of all the DC news, let's do this over here. Oops, like that. Because of all the DC news, why don't I tell you guys my relationship with DC Comics as we draw in a Marvel style. And also, I'm going to start by drawing Baby Bop here, who apparently was created by Brian, who's on this stream regularly. I'm gonna draw the. I was gonna do the buildings first. Maybe we'll do the buildings last. I'm gonna go ahead and draw. Maybe we'll do a Baby Bop first. Should do Baby Bop or Yellow first. Let's do Baby Bop first. And then let's draw all the friends. Let's do all the friends first. So yeah, let's do all the friends first. The thing is, Baby Bop's supposed to be a Triceratops, apparently. It's supposed to be a Triceratops. That's what Wikipedia told me. It's supposed to be a Triceratops, but it looks nothing like a Triceratops. It looks more like a hippo. If I can be honest with you, it's going to look like a hippo. But that is what it is. So good morning to everybody in the chat. Sir Galahad, who recommended we do this. Thank you. This will be the last day we work on this particular one. I only like to work a couple days on a particular piece before we do something new the next day. Now, tomorrow will be interesting, guys. I actually want to start quite early tomorrow. Even means because I actually have a hard out early tomorrow. I have a hard out at about 6 a.m. tomorrow. Meaning, if I do start at 4, if I start at this time, the stream will only be like an hour and a half. So I will do my best to see if I could start a little bit earlier. Oh, also, I didn't start Instagram. We start Instagram before we get started. Say hello to my friends on Instagram, and I think I know how to talk to my friends on Instagram today. I will try it. So we go ahead and turn Instagram on. And I think we are live on Instagram. So good morning to everybody on Instagram. Good morning, everybody on Instagram. And the way I'm going to do Instagram is I'm actually going to load it on my screen here, which I should have done before. Instagram. Box Office Artist. And technically, this should bring me live. I think. If I log in, I guess. Can I watch lives on the actual app itself? Let's see if I log in. See if that helps. Let's see if I log in. Just bear with me, guys. Let's see. Huh? 1 second while I try to get my friends on Instagram on here. There you go. Let's see if this. I can see. Can I see my live? Oh no, I can't. I can't see my live. I can't see it, guys. I can't see it. Instagram, you're out of luck. Instagram, you are out of luck. I cannot see my live. Why not? Show me my own live, people. Show me my own live. Okay, it won't let me do it. Okay, I thought I would be able to do it on the regular here, but it won't let me. Anyway, whatever. Let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about DC for a little bit, guys. DC Comics, gigantic news. DC news yesterday. We're gonna cover all of it a little bit later in the stream today. So please do stay tuned for that. While I go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and draw. We're gonna draw Baby Bop here, and let me pull up some Godzilla reference here. Okay. But anyway, so I thought today, since we're gonna talk a lot about DC, why don't we keep that theme going? And I'm gonna talk to you guys about my relationship with DC Comics. I've had a few cups of coffee with DC Comics. And I'll explain that in a minute. And I'll tell you that I bungled almost every single one. But, well, I bungled two of them. The third one wasn't too bad. If I write Godzilla monsters here. Okay. So, hold on. Just give me bear with me, guys. I'm just throwing up some Godzilla references here, because I'm looking at all the different kaijus that are available here. So I'm looking at a kaiju reference right now. Ooh, that's a scary one. I like that one. I'm liking that. This is a wonderful way to start off the stream here, guys. I should have done this beforehand. You know, I find it actually takes me like an hour to get ready for these streams. It takes me about an hour. So I woke up around 3:30 in the morning because I forgot to set my alarm. I wanted to wake up early. I actually wanted to start the stream at 3 o'clock today, but I woke up a little bit later. But that is what it is. Godzilla. Oh boy, look at this guy. Okay, anyway. So let's go ahead and talk about my relationship with DC. I've worked on a few DC titles. So if you were to type in James Raiz DC, you'll see a bunch of the titles that I worked on. I worked about 3 books for DC. Now, let me tell you how I got the first job. The very first job I got from DC was working on a title called Tokyo Storm Warning for DC. A long time ago. Okay, this was in 2000. I would like to say, was that 2003? Yeah, it was 2003. Okay, and let me tell you how I messed that up. Okay, let me tell you how I messed that up. Like I did a lot of my comic book career, I mess up a lot of things. So there was a time, and I talked about my whole Dreamwave journey a few days ago. I talked about myself working at a company called Dreamwave Productions a few days ago, and I was working on a lot of Transformers comics at that time. However, there came a time where it looked like I wasn't getting any work. Okay. It just looked like I was not going to get any work. At first, I was promised to do a G2, Transformers G2 series, and that didn't come into fruition. And then me and my friend, Chris Saracini, we pitched an Optimus Prime miniseries that did not come into fruition. So I was like kind of stuck. Like they said they would keep me busy, right? Because at first they said that I would be the main penciler for Transformers G2. And then they said, okay, my buddy Don Figueroa, wonderful artist, and the guy's a hoot on Twitter right now. He's hilarious. He's actually going to draw G2, the first arc, and I'm going to do the second arc, so they could keep it on time. So I actually understand that. And then they'll keep me busy in between there. But I wasn't doing anything. Like I wasn't working. Like they didn't give me anything to start off with. So I was in a position where I didn't really have much work. And I would have loved to have done G2. I would have loved to have done G2. But they weren't giving me any work. By the way, Baby Bop here is supposed to be a Triceratops. I'm wondering if I should just add the Triceratops features, even though she doesn't have it in her initial design. Or his initial design. Her, is it a boy or girl? I don't know. Anyway. So, back in those days, there's no Twitter. There was no Instagram back then. There's none of that stuff, right? There's none of that. No LinkedIn. There was not even Facebook back then, guys. That's how old this is. We're talking about early 2000s, 2001. But there was internet. And the way us comic fans interacted were through message boards, okay? And one board that a lot of comic creators were on was a writer named Warren Ellis, okay? I'm not sure if any of you have heard of Warren Ellis, okay? Warren Ellis. PJ, is that you, buddy? Is that your new name, PJ May Days? Is that your new name, brother? Very excited for the Transformers movie. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Talk about an OG. We're talking about an OG. My buddy PJ is here. Good to see you, brother. So anyway. So Warren Ellis, who I believe is canceled right now. If I was not mistaken. Whatever. We won't get into all that stuff. But Warren Ellis, very prolific comic book writer, especially back then. One of my favorite things that he ever wrote was The Authority with Brian Hitch. And you guys know Brian Hitch is one of my big 7 artists. Yeah. So that's your new channel, APG. There you go. There you go. So he had this message board. So a lot of creators went on that message board. And, everyone shared artwork there. And even me, I shared my artwork a lot on that board when I was working at Dreamwave. And I put up a few pieces, and then Warren actually took a liking to my artwork. He thought it was pretty cool. So, we chatted for a little bit. And then there came an opportunity where he contacted me. And he wanted me to do a book for a company called, I think it was called Broken Tree Comics or something like that. Like he wanted to do this independent book for Broken Tree Comics. Now, it was intriguing just for the fact I was going to work with Warren Ellis. So, but at the same time, I was working on Transformers at the time. This was before all that G2 stuff happened. So I turned that down initially. But then when all that G2 stuff happened, I'm trying to remember in my head whether I approached Warren or he approached me. Right now, from where I stand, I believe he approached me. And he told me, he goes, James, I have this story that I think you're going to be good for. Okay? Think about it like Gundam versus Godzilla. Think about that, right? It's a story kind of like that. So it'd be like these big mech robots versus all these kaijus. Through all these kaijus. And it was called Tokyo Storm Warning. And he put me in contact with his editors at DC. At that time, it was Scott Dunbier. Very prolific editor, Scott Dunbier. So we talked. And I accepted right away. And how could you say no to that? So it was good. That was going to be my very first DC Comics project, Tokyo Storm Warning. And then after that, Scott contacted me and goes, "Hey James, we're while you're developing this," because I was sending some sketches. Okay, so this was a fully creator-owned project, and if you look at the copyright, it actually says copyright Warren Ellis and James Raiz. Okay, it actually says Warren Ellis and James Raiz. And PJ got some Dreamwave books that I signed. There you go. I would sign any book you want, my brother. you know that. We're good friends. So is that comic digitally available? I'm not sure. You might be able to see it, Mario. But at that time, Scott came up to me and he said, "Hey James, what if we turn this, we release this in the Cliffhanger imprint?" Okay, so if you guys don't know how big a deal that was back then, Cliffhanger was a company started by, or an imprint started by J. Scott Campbell, who did Danger Girl, Joe Madureira, who did Battle Chasers, and Humberto Ramos, who did Crimson. So they were calling it like Image Comics 2.0. And then our comic, myself and Warren Ellis, we were going to be the fourth title to that. We were going to be the fourth title. And that, like, how excited was I? You know, I was going to be, I was going to be working with the dude that wrote The Authority. The dude who Brian Hitch made his name with. And that was Warren Ellis. Well, a lot of creators made their name with. So I was stoked. And then Scott Dunbier said, "What inker do you want to work with?" Like, yeah, I'm like, I'm a big Brian Hitch fan. And then he told me, "Hey, what if we got Andrew Curry to ink your work?" Andrew Curry inked Brian Hitch in the Ultimates. If you guys read the Ultimates, Andrew Curry inked his stuff. So right away, I had all the makings to be the next Brian Hitch with this project. I was so excited. I was working with Brian Hitch's writer from The Authority. I was working with his inker from the Ultimates to this new project. It was called Tokyo Storm Warning. Super duper excited. So I let Pat know that I was leaving. He was sad to see me go, but he understood. So I was no longer going to be working at Dreamwave. Now it was my time to leave the family and start going out on my own, and then working with by the way, Baby Bop's Triceratops. I'm gonna add the horns. I don't care. Okay, time to leave home, and then time to go work on my own at DC Comics. Hooray! Here's the problem, guys. I was slow, my friend, slow. By the way, my pens are on the floor. I don't know why I'm putting my pens on the floor. Give me a second. So the first few pages I did, okay? They were great. They loved it. I put every single ounce. It's your first DC project. You want to make a good impression. And I put every single ounce of effort I had into those first few pages. And if you look back at those first few pages, you look at the amount of detail I put into those first few pages on Tokyo Storm Warning. It was pretty. It was a lot. In fact, if you guys Google Tokyo Storm Warning right now, Warren Ellis, and you'll see those first few pages. It's the one that they share a lot. Okay. And by the way, PJ, the Transformers license, IDW, it expired. So they're finishing up, and we believe that Skybound is the one who got the new license for it, though it's not official. But we believe that Transformers license go with Skybound. We talked quite a bit about that yesterday, actually. But anyway. So my first few pages, they absolutely loved. They thought I did a fantastic job. However, then my rookieism kind of kicked in. I became very slow. And I started bunking deadlines, guys. Mainly because a couple reasons why. Number one, a lot of art block. A lot of putting too much effort into pages. But I think more than anything, I think it was more the art block more than anything else. There's just times I just didn't feel like drawing. So I started to become extremely late with the book. Okay? Not something you want to do. Definitely not something you want to do when it's your first project and especially when you get an opportunity like this. Okay, my first issue came out, and the review on that first issue of Tokyo Storm Warning. I remember I forgot the name of that website. I used to go to this website all the time that reviewed comics, and they said it was from the writer, from Brian Hitch's writer, for the writer of The Authority, and the inker of Ultimates, James Raiz. James Raiz loves comics. I remember this. James Raiz loves comics, and he said, it has the feel of Brian Hitch, and it's just as good. They called me just as good as Brian Hitch. They called me just as good as Brian. I should have framed that. The dude actually called me just as good as Brian Hitch. How excited was I? But then I messed it up. I messed it up by being late. I messed it up by being unprofessional. I messed it up by not answering emails. It came to the point where Scott was emailing me, and I would ignore his emails. And then to the point where Scott started ignoring my emails when I needed his help. And because I was so slow, because I was so late, like Warren started to lax on the project a bit. And he started to become late with his scripts, right? And I remember one time, this was interesting. I remember one time, this was mid 2003. This is mid 2003. They were like, James, we really need these pages. And then I told Scott, hey, Scott, I have a little issue. Scott. I'm kind of getting married tomorrow. So I might not be able to get these pages out on time. How unprofessional was I? I didn't even let them know ahead of time I was getting married. Like, I told them the day before I was getting married, and he's like, James, we really, really need these pages. Like, hey, Scott, I'm kind of getting married tomorrow. And he goes, okay, James, look, I'll give you a week, but we really need these pages out, right? So, dudes, I was so slow. I think it also has to do with pressure, right? There's a lot of pressure when you're starting off, and you want to put the best foot forward. But the amount of work I was putting in every single page, every single panel, which isn't an excuse, like once you're in, I always say, once you're in comics, it's one thing to get your first comic job, but it's another to stay in. It's like that old Chris Rock joke. When you start dating, that's old Chris Rock joke. When you start dating, you're not meeting the person, you're meeting the representative. So same thing when you're putting together a portfolio to get a job. You're not showing them what you're like in real life. You're showing them what you would like to be. You're showing them your best foot forward. You're showing them pages that you work days on when you don't have those days to work on it in an actual comic book setting, right? And apologies, guys. I get the morning allergies. I got to blow my nose. 1 second here, guys. So I totally bungled it. I totally bungled that job. To the point where in issue 3, I forgot why. I think I was going on vacation. No, that was exactly it. I was going to the Philippines. And I told them I couldn't finish the book in issue 3. I couldn't finish the last 4 pages or whatever. I couldn't finish I think it was 5 pages. So they got Carlos de Anda to actually finish off the rest of the book. Carlos de Anda is one of my favorite artists. He actually finished off the book. And I remember because I was so late, Warren became late with his script, and there came a point where I was waiting for him to finish the script. And I remember asking him, and then I'm asking him, hey man, I just need the last couple pages. And then he emailed me back in big caps, I'm not done yet. You emailed me back like that. So I totally bungled that. I totally bungled that opportunity. I was slow. I was unprofessional. And I didn't take accountability for it, guys. I didn't take accountability. It was my fault. 100% my fault that book was late. Okay? 100% my fault we blew all those deadlines. And at the end of it, I was actually blaming Warren. Because, he was a little later with those last scripts. But if I was on time with my stuff, he would have been on time with the rest of his stuff. So I was at a point, guys, and I actually do find this with a lot of people today. A lot of people don't like taking accountability. A lot of people don't like saying it's their fault. Today, I didn't own it. And I was blaming like, because Warren was late with the script. That's why I was late. No, it's because I didn't do my job. That's why. And you learn that when you get older and wiser. Like, people will make all the excuses in the book why things go wrong, but they never blame themselves. They never turn around and say, hey, look, this is what I did wrong. And looking back at it now, again, hindsight's always 20/20. But looking back at it, I messed that up. I messed that up royally. Now, not to the point where I didn't get other opportunities. Okay, so after that particular one, I was actually off work for a little bit because I couldn't get another job. Okay, so I blew that opportunity. And by the way, can I say, if you want to know what Tokyo Storm Warning looks like, it looks very similar to Pacific Rim. You look at it, guys. Yeah, like Snitsky. It wasn't my fault. Yep, wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. It was all my fault. It was all my fault. If you guys look up Tokyo Storm Warning, look at the designs. And then look at Pacific Rim. Okay? Look at Pacific Rim. Both Warner Brothers properties. Well, it's actually Legendary. But Warner Brothers produced it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But look at them both. Kind of very similar. Very, very similar. When I saw the first trailer for Pacific Rim, I thought it was Tokyo Storm Warning under a different name. I really did, because the outfits that the pilots were wearing, the Jaegers, some of the Jaegers, they look very similar to my designs, very, very similar. So I literally thought it was Tokyo Storm Warning under a different name, but it wasn't. But then again, Tokyo Storm Warning wasn't the most 100% original thing either. Like, if you look at, you could tell heavily influenced by, Godzilla and Gundam and all that stuff. So it's not like we weren't inspired by other things. But with that, that's beside the point. That was never confirmed. Also, if that was the case, I think I deserve some money. Because technically, I am part owner of that copyright. Partly. They never yelled at me. Daruti asked, did they ever get mad and yell at you? They never got yelled at me. I did get hung up on. Once I tried to call Scott for something, and he literally picked up the phone and hung it up. Once. He picked up the phone and hung it up, okay? I bungled that so badly, guys. I bungled that so bad. And it's nice you can live and learn and learn from your mistakes. And that's why I'm telling you guys this, because I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that I did. Now, I was lucky enough. I did get another opportunity, though. Okay. So I forgot what I did in between. But I really believe I didn't do anything in between that. Like, I didn't really have work for quite a few months after that. Okay, now again, didn't matter too much because I just got married. At that particular time, I just got married. Me and my wife, we went to the Philippines that summer because my sister got married in the Philippines. So we, so I, it wasn't like I wasn't busy. So think about it like a very long honeymoon in that sense. But then I did get another opportunity. I got contacted by, because at that time, you knew that the people hiring were editors, right? And even I was listening to a podcast. I started listening to a podcast with Todd McFarlane and Tim Ferriss. And I'm actually very excited to listen to the rest of that podcast. But Todd was talking about how he knew the real people hiring were the editors. They weren't, they had a submissions editor, but the one really, really hiring was the actual editors. So he was, he kept submitting to editors and sending his samples to editors, inundating the editors with stuff like every week, right? While he was in college. And the same was with me. I knew the editors were the ones in the job. Now, that's right, Mario. We're not AI robots. You're right. You're right, sir. If I was an AI, this stream would be over in a second. This stream would be over in 5 minutes. This would all be done. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, one thing to learn from my story with Warren, though, is that sometimes, guys, writers have the power to choose who they work with, okay? I wouldn't have gotten that Tokyo Storm Warning job if Warren Ellis did not like my work and recommended me. He recommended me. So if you are able to get a writer to like your work, if you are able to get a writer to get to know you and like your work, they could recommend you for jobs, okay? And that's what happened to me. So if there's anything to take away from my Warren Ellis story, aside from not messing up your first comic book DC Comics job, that would be really one of them, okay? Get to know writers. And I always tell you guys this. I say this every time. There's tons of writers on Instagram and on Twitter and all these social medias. Try to get to know them. Don't be the first thing that they hear from you. Oh, and by the way, did my camera freeze, guys? It looks frozen on... Did I freeze? Let's see if I've frozen. Did it stop? Oh, okay. It looks good now. Sorry, my thing froze on my end. Sorry. Okay, but anyway. So aside from don't bungle it up, right? Get to know writers, okay? And don't start by going, hey, man, work with me. Give me a job. They're going to ignore you right away because they get that every day. They get that every day. Hey, man, love your stuff. Look at my work. Is that the first thing you're going to say to them? Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. Don't let that be the first thing you say to them. Converse with them first. Comment on their posts first. Get to know them, right? Get them to know you first before you actually go and show them your work, okay? Or even better yet, let them be the one to discover how good you are, okay? As opposed to you right away going, hey, man, I've never met you ever in my life, but work with me. Hey, man. Okay. Sup, Justin? Jobert. Sorry, Justin. Hello, Jobert. Jobert's on Facebook there. Thank you for joining in. Hey, man. Work with me, man. It's just like I was telling you guys. That's the wrong way to approach somebody for a collab on YouTube. They've never met you before in their lives, and the first thing you say, hey, man, shout me out. Hey, man, shout out my channel, man. Hey, man. Hey, man, I don't know you, but do me a favor. Make me famous. I have no idea. You have no idea who I am, but make me famous, man. Amen. That's my impression. People. Oh, no, give them value, and then they'll be more apt to help you, okay? So these writers here, give them value, okay? Now, we'll get into more of that in a bit later, okay? So, anyway, I did get another opportunity because I told you guys I kept emailing all of these editors, and one editor did email me back, and that was Ivan Cohen. At the time, Ivan Cohen was editing Wonder Woman, okay? He's editing Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman, a big part of the news, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, okay? We'll talk about all of that Wonder Woman stuff a bit later, okay? But that's why this is relevant, what I'm talking about here. So he told me that, look, we have this 2-issue arc for Wonder Woman. It's going to be Wonder Woman versus the Justice League. Wonder Woman versus the Justice League. And we would like you to pencil it. Okay? What another great opportunity. What another amazing opportunity that I got that I didn't deserve. And that was working on Wonder Woman. Okay? So I said to myself, okay, I'm not going to make the same mistakes this time. I'm not going to be late this time. But there were a couple of factors that was interesting with this Wonder Woman job, okay? First of all, you know, here's the deal, guys. I don't want to out this inker, okay? He's done some amazing work over the years. I'm sure he's a great guy. But I think he got, you know how detailed my work is, right? You guys understand how detailed my work was. And a couple of things, okay? Number one, my work is extremely detailed. You guys know that, okay? Number two, I was late again. I was very late with the book. And you know when you're late in comics is pretty much an assembly line, guys. It's very much an assembly line. So if there's a cog in the assembly line, hello, Bo. How doing? Good to see you, Bo. You're up early. Good to see you, Bo. Good to see you. It's an assembly line. So you start with the writer, then you go to the penciler, then that gets shipped to the inker, and then that shit gets shipped to the colorist. But what you don't realize when you're working in it is that if you slow down, if you are late on your end, that leaves less time for everybody else to work on their job. Because the deadline for this book to get out doesn't change because you're late. Okay? It stays the same. Okay, so this particular inker here, I'm not going to name his name, and you could probably look it up. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to get too into it. There's a lot of things that happen, but I won't get it too much. But one of the main things was he wouldn't ink every single line I drew. The job of an inker is to ink every single line that, or interpret what the penciler does. And there were times like I drew all these scales on a character, and he wouldn't draw all of them. He wouldn't ink all of them. And I showed the example on a previous stream. Like I would cover these things in scales, and he would only do like a little bit on the side, and then move on. But not only that, there were other things. I won't get into that, right? But you know, he's been this inker. He's worked in the industry a long time. A lot of people love working with him. So maybe it was just a bad day at the office. I'll put it at that. But let's just say I was not happy. I was not happy with the inker. Okay. But you know, he's worked on very prolific books afterwards. So you know what, maybe good for him. Good for him. Right? And it's been quite a while, guys. It's like over 20 years. So whatever. Would I work with him again? No, definitely not. But yeah, maybe let's just put it that a bad day at the office. Let's just do that. Okay. Maybe he was going through things. Like, you never know sometimes, guys. Like, even me. I was late. I had reasons why I was late. You know, and maybe he was going through a lot at that time, for all I know. Maybe he was going through a lot at that time that he didn't do what he was supposed to do in his job. Okay, so, you know what? Years later, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, okay? So I was not happy with the inking. Number two, I could not draw Superman. That wasn't the inker's fault. That was my fault. I could not draw Superman, okay? I could not draw Superman. No matter how hard I tried, I could not draw Superman. Because I got the opportunity to draw Wonder Woman versus the Justice League. She blindfolded herself and she was fighting the Justice League. And for one reason or another, they kept asking me to redo Superman. I just could not get Superman's face down. So they asked me to redo it and redo it and redo it and redo his face. And to the point where they finally stopped asking. So I thought it was fine. But then when the book came out, guys, the book came out, and then this is how I knew I was done. Okay? When that book came out, when that Wonder Woman book came out, all the Superman faces that I did when that book came out, some other artist redrew the face. They got another artist to redo the face. And you take that two ways. As an artist, you feel defeated as an artist when something like that happens. You really feel down. Yes, I did blame them a little bit, but at the same time, again, my fault. I could not draw Superman's face. I actually went in depth about this on a video on my channel before. But to the point where it was so bad where they had to get another artist to draw Superman's face. It's like, ugh. And I look back at those days and I cringe. I cringe, my friends. I cringe. So that's definitely not the inker's fault. That's my fault. I don't know if they got the inker to do it. It wouldn't surprise me because the style looked very similar to the artist that was before me. The style was similar, so I actually wouldn't have been surprised if they got the inker to change the face. But what a blow to the ego, right? What a blow to the ego. You're finally working on a DC comic, and they did not like my Superman. So then it was done. Shout out, Jobert. Shout out. Then it's pretty much done. Then I knew I probably wasn't going to get any more work after that, right? And I didn't. I actually was hoping for another job after because I actually got a 6-issue offer to work on this title at Top Cow right after that. And I turned it down because I still wanted to work for DC. But then it turned out DC didn't give me the job, and they ended up giving that Top Cow job to somebody else. Though I probably would have bungled that too. So yeah, guys. 0 for 2. First 2 DC jobs. 0 for 2. 0 for 2. I messed up both of them. Okay? And so I did get one more opportunity to work at DC. And this was after I decided to go back to school. Okay? So fast forward to 2005. Okay, 2005. Oh no, a little bit later. 2006, actually. 2006. I already did some work for Marvel. I actually did a lot of work for Marvel at this time. I'm not going to go into my work for Marvel that time. That we'll save that for another stream. But I got better, guys. I got better at deadlines. I got better at I got better at working for companies. I got better. And over time, that's what happens. You get better, you learn more, and you're able to do things. And I got one more job. I was contacted by prolific DC editor Mike Carlin. Okay? I don't know. I think Mike Carlin's canceled, too, if I'm not mistaken. I only work for canceled guys. I don't know. But anyway. Mike Carlin contacted me, and then they wanted me to work on a title called Birds of Prey. You guys heard of Birds of Prey? And this was going to be my very last comic book job. My last comic book job where I worked on it, for full time. Okay? This was the last job I took before I went back to college. And I worked on 2 issues of Birds of Prey. Probably my best work I've done for DC. I am extremely proud of the work I did on Birds of Prey. I was on time. Woohoo! I don't know if it would have meant I got another job after that or not, but I was on time. I did my job, and that was my redeem project for DC. That was my redeem project. Again, I just did 2 issues. After that, the acclaimed, what's her name? Nicola Scott took over, and then her career took off in comics right after that. And then after that, I went off to college. Okay, so those are the 3 DC titles I worked on, guys. 3 DC titles. I worked on Tokyo Storm Warning, Wonder Woman, and Birds of Prey. Out of all of those, the best experience was the Birds of Prey, just because I was actually professional when I did that book. Okay, Now, would have that have led to more work afterwards if I didn't go to college? I'm not sure. I can't tell you that because they didn't offer me. I told them right away I was going to college right after, so they didn't bother offering me anything. But I was happy to get that last redeeming comic book job out from under my belt. That was good, and yeah. So that was my DC Comics experience, guys. So again, couple things to learn. Number one, two ways to get a job in comics: befriending a writer, getting that writer to like your work, and getting them to recommend your work. Number two, getting editors to notice you. Okay, getting editors to notice you. The old school way, getting the editors to notice you, and that took years. That took years for those editors to actually notice me. So persistence and sending my samples to them over and over and over again, and being able to get them to notice. Parabellum X420 on Twitch asks, which Birds of Prey books? It's Birds of Prey number 98 and 99. Okay? Birds of Prey number 98 and 99. If you look that up, and you'll actually see some pages, and I was actually pretty proud of that work. I really enjoyed the work I did on that particular book. That was one of the ones I was most proud of. If you ask me to make a portfolio of the work I've done in comics, you'll find some Tokyo Storm Warning stuff in there. You'll find some Wonder Woman stuff in there, and you'll definitely find some Birds of Prey in there as well. So that was my DC comic story. DC Comics, great place to work. I actually still get residuals from DC Comics. I still get residuals. Oh, by the way, did I tell you that my Wonder Woman story was written by Greg Rucka? Greg Rucka, who to this day is a very prolific comic writer, also very known in comic book circles. Or in Star Wars. He wrote a lot of the Star Wars books. So a lot of his stuff gets reprinted. So to this day, guys, I still get residuals from DC Comics. I'll get an envelope at the end of every year, with like $100 in it, like $100, $150 US. So I'll take that. It's because they keep reprinting a lot of Greg Rucka stuff. They always reprint those old stories. So if I get those residuals, I'm sure that those regular artists, they actually still get a lot of residuals. That's another way a lot of comic artists get paid, guys, is by residuals. Because they reprint these books, especially if it's a famous book, especially like if a character gets introduced in a book, like they get residuals. They get a check every year for that particular book. So DC is better at paying residuals than Marvel. Yes, because I never got residuals from Marvel. But then again, I never really worked on something that they reprinted at the same time. So I actually don't know the residual program. I will say that Marvel and DC, like I've worked at a bunch of comic book companies, guys. Marvel and DC are the best at paying. They pay right away. You get your money right away. There's no question about payment when you're working at a Marvel or a DC. So yeah, that is my DC story, guys. That was my experience working at DC Comics. Okay. Good experience. Very good people I worked with. I just messed it up myself. It's my own fault. And I am man enough to admit that. 15 years later, I am man enough to admit that all of that was my fault. All of that was the reason they didn't keep hiring me was because of me. Because I was late. Because I was unprofessional. So, guys, that's the one thing. If you are lucky enough to get a comic book job, do your best, be on time, be professional. Okay? That's actually even more important than drawing quality. Of course, drawing quality is important. Of course it is. But even more important than that is being on time and finishing things when you say you're going to finish them. That's more important. That is way more important than the actual drawing itself. Now, when you get to the point where your drawing sells the book, when you get to the point like a Brian Hitch, where your name will actually sell the book, then you actually have leeway to take more time. Like right now, my buddy Francis Manipul, he could actually say, hey, I want to work a year on one book, and they'll let him do it, right? Because his name sells the book. Brian Hitch right now, he could take as much time as he wants because he earned that. Like he earned that over the years of being on time. He earned the right to take his time now with his work. I did not earn that at that time. So if you're slow, they're not going to give you more work. And that's just how it's going to go, right? So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw the next character here, which is, what's her name again? It is Yellow, I believe. Yellow, my favorite color. I think it's yellow, right? Yellow. Oh, sorry. No. BJ. BJ's yellow. Okay, let's see here. BJ Barney. But with that, guys, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead, guys, and let's talk that DC news, guys. Let's talk that DC news. Whoa, and what a bombshell yesterday. You guys have been hearing about this? You hear about this bombshell yesterday? Everybody's talking about it on Twitter. That report from the Hollywood Reporter yesterday about the complete overhaul of DC Comics. In fact, why don't I read it straight from the source, okay? Because I don't want to interpret anything. Let's go to the Hollywood Reporter report. Let's go to that Hollywood Reporter report. Because it broke the internet yesterday in terms of this DC news here. Okay, so I'm going to read this whole thing, guys, okay? I'm going to read this whole thing. Okay, so the headline is Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman 3, not moving forward as DC movies hit a turning point, okay? Brian Hitch, the penciler of the Authority. Yes, the penciler of the Ultimates. Guys, I think nothing shaped the Marvel Cinematic Universe more than Brian Hitch. A lot of what Brian Hitch did, you could completely see the influence in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. By the way, hello again to everybody on Instagram. Hi, guys. On Instagram, my apologies again. I can't read your comments if you're commenting. But thank you guys for joining in on Instagram. But yellow is my favorite color. There you go. Anyway, let's talk about Patty Jenkins. Okay, so new DC studio heads, James Gunn and Peter Safran, are in the final stage of prepping their multi-year plan ahead of next week's pivotal presentation to Warner Brothers Discovery CEO, David Zaslav, okay? So let's see. Call it a rebirth or DC Genesis. Maybe call it Identity Crisis or Flashpoint. These titles of past DC Comics events series aptly describe the state of Warner Brothers DC movies, which are on the cusp of a new era. But not before a potentially messy transition period. Okay? A cleaning of the slate is common when a new executive team is put in place to run a studio or division, but there is likely little precedent for the amount of Clorox, I like that word, amount of Clorox James Gunn and Peter Safran could spray as they prepare to launch DC Studios a guide superhero movies for the next half decade and beyond. Oh, this is getting juicy, guys. Listen to this. The duo recently flew back to Los Angeles from snowy city of Aspen, Colorado, where they were huddled in deep planning. And now, like holy figures coming down from the mountaintop, have a set of commandments or a DC Bible in hand, or at least a working blueprint. Gunn and Safran are expected to meet next week with David Zaslav, the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO, who is radically reshaping the media company who hired the duo in October to lead a newly launched film and TV division. The pair will unveil to Zaslav a plan that is expected to lay out their vision. Although much of their plan, which insiders paint as still work in progress, and one that has yet to be approved, is being kept deep in the Batcave, details of several possible paths forwards are trickling out. And at least one path not being taken has also been revealed. And here you go. Here's the bombshell, guys, if you haven't heard about this. Multiple sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 is not moving forward and considered dead in its current incarnation. Okay, let that sink in. Wonder Woman 3 is dead, guys. Wonder Woman 3 is dead. Okay, by the way, let me just go ahead and go back to this reference here, okay? Wonder Woman 3 is dead. Okay, let me pull this article out so I can read it. Sources say that Jenkins recently submitted her treatment, co-written with Jeff Johns, and that Gunn. Okay, let me just get my reference here. Okay, that Gunn and Safran, as well as Warner Bros. Pictures co-chairs and co-CEOs Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdi, broke news to the filmmaker, telling that her project, as it stood, did not fit in with the new but still unfolding plans. Jenkins directed and co-directed previous two movies starring Gal Gadot, released in 2017 and 2020. No decision had been made about the next steps. I will say, though, guys, Wonder Woman 1984 was horrible, right? It was really bad. So, like, a lot of people crying a foul right now, and they're so mad that Wonder Woman's not being done. Did you watch the last movie? Like, that was bad. It was really bad. Well, in my opinion, if you liked it, congratulations. I'm happy for you if you liked it. And I want all movies to succeed. But for me, dudes, that movie is just bad. I don't know about you guys. That movie was just like, ugh. I don't know. There was just some real questionable things that was going on in that movie. It made no sense. A lot of it. So I'm not surprised, guys. I'm definitely not surprised that they decided to scrap it. Okay. By the way, I have to give this person a cap. This person has a hat like this. Right. Okay, but let's keep reading. Let's keep reading this. Let's keep reading this article here. Okay. While costs are not a factor, insiders say that DC Studios will not have any overburdensome financial restrictions. The studio could end up saving tens of millions of dollars by not making the third installment. Godot, according to sources, was on track for a $20 million payday for Wonder Woman 3, while Jenkins would have received $12 million. Those figures don't include any possible back-end bonuses. Now, I will say again, Wonder Woman 2 had a lot going against it for sure. Like it came out during the pandemic. It came out, what's it called? It came out on the streaming service as well as in the movie theater. But guys, let's be honest. Even if it just came out in theaters, like, yes, for sure it would have made more money. Guaranteed. It would have made a ton more money. But that movie was so bad. Oh, in the opinion of many, not just myself, that movie was so bad. I highly doubt it would have made like blockbuster money or even the money that the first one did, right? Does anyone think it would have made the same money that the other one did? Like, really? Really? Oh, boy. Anyone really explain it? Well, we'll see. But anyway, I digress here. Because there's more news coming out of this, guys, than just this, right? Warner Bros. Had no comment. It's unclear how any future Wonder Woman movie and Gal Gadot portrayal of the hero would fit into the new DC plan. In a bit of head-scratching timing, Gadot tweeted out a bit of the blue a thank you to fans on Tuesday, saying she was grateful to be allowed to play the heroine and role model, adding, "Can't wait to share her next chapter with you." That's weird, bad timing. Or maybe the next chapter is there is no chapter. Maybe that's the bad timing. Okay. It was unclear whether or not the actress knew the project was being toe-tagged. The rest of the DC slate remains in flux, or at least being kept deep in the pocket of Gunn's own utility belt, but there are several rumors and possible scenarios to consider ahead of next week's meeting. The first of which builds on the shuttering of Wonder Woman 3, is the closing curtain of the Snyderverse. Let me say that again, and with emphasis. There. The closing curtain of the Snyderverse. And the heroes cast by filmmaker Zack Snyder for his Justice League. The ones that sees the shutting down of Man of Steel 2. Shutting down of Man of Steel 2. With a returning Henry Cavill and having no more Aquaman. No more Aquaman. Fronted by Jason Momoa. These characters are to cameo in The Flash, the highly anticipated time travel adventure movie that's due to release June 16. Cavill shot part of the cameo in September, but sources say there is a debate in the studio whether or not to keep the cameo and lift its inclusion promises, something that the studio would have no plans on delivering. So again, guys, they shot a cameo of Henry Cavill for The Flash, but they are deciding whether or not to include it because they have no intentions of bringing Henry Cavill back. They have no intentions of bringing Henry Cavill back for Man of Steel 2. Okay? The Cavill situation is even more a little thorny than the actor made a cameo in Black Adam, the DC-centric movie released in October. The Monday after the... Excuse me. Got so excited, I'm sneezing. Here we go. The Monday after the movie opened, Cavill posted a video on Instagram where he announced, "I want to make it official. I'm back as Superman." Okay? This is a long article, guys, but it's so intriguing. At that time, he wasn't correct. Let me just fast forward over here. But this was all before, because it talked about how they were planning on bringing a Cavill back. But this was before Gunn and Safran began formulating their plan. Here's another one, guys. Here is another one. Also unlikely is a sequel to Black Adam. Repeat that again. Also unlikely is a sequel to Black Adam. Despite the hype surrounding the movie launching a new corner of DC, a lot of it led by star Dwayne Johnson, the movie has only grossed, and we talked about this yesterday, only $385 million worldwide, and insiders at the studio say the movie, which cost more than $190 million to produce, will be lucky to break even considering accelerated revenue, even if the movie does minimal profit. Now, okay, let's get to what The Rock said yesterday. The perception of Black Adam turning profit now being waged in the public. Johnson tweeting the movie would net over $50 million. After a variety story said the movie would lose $50 million. So you guys saw that, right? The Rock defending it. It's like, no. We made money. We made over $50 million. The movie made over $50 million. That's what he's saying. But there were a lot of people who were debunking that right afterwards, saying that that was being papered somehow. Okay, so, like, at the end of the day, we don't know. We're not accountants. We're not there in the books, but it is questionable. It is questionable. All right. Now here's something really, really interesting, guys. Okay, Momoa, meanwhile, could emerge as a pivotal figure in the new plans. Okay, according to several sources. In one scenario, the actor would wrap up his days underwater here as underwater hero Arthur Curry with Lost City, due out December 25th, 2023. But it would not spell the end for the actor's involvement with DC, with sources saying the actor could lead another movie or franchise, the character Lobo. So they might be scrapping Aquaman in this new DC with Jason Momoa and getting him instead to play Lobo. Wow. Okay, whether or not Momoa does play everyone's favorite Lobo, emerging as a rising character in the early conversation may point to kinds of characters Gunn Safran team may be focusing on. Okay, and they just talk a little bit about logo here. The part of the plan could entail a truly fresh start, having no baggage from any previous regimes set about resetting how DC comics and shows are made. Okay, and I think that's the gist of the article there, guys. All right. But here's one thing. The one that's safe, okay? One part of the Gunn Safran agenda seems likely not to touch, at least for now, is the Matt Reeves Batman universe in which Robert Pattinson dons the Caped Crusader, okay? So out of all of them, the one project that is safe is Batman. The Robert Pattinson Batman. That's the only one that is safe, okay? So, first of all, we don't know the details of their plan, nor will we know the full details of their plan. It's not like they're going to release their plan and then they're going to tell the public, hey, we're going to be doing this, and that. Well, we don't know what they're going to do. Okay? At the same time. Jatmery from Twitch says, whoa, Momoa is Lobo? Yeah. Now, a few things with that. Number one, okay, and the thing is, after this article, guys, a lot of people were, like, this just shows you guys, this is the internet. A lot of people were putting up fire James Gunn. That was trending. When I woke up this morning, that was trending. Fire James Gunn was trending right now. Before we seen anything, before we seen this plan, before we seen a movie, the first thing trending, fire James Gunn. Okay? Now, again, that could be a lot of the Snyderverse guys, people that were into the Snyderverse. Hey, I love the Snyderverse. I love the Snyderverse. Okay? But you know that old saying, and this is my take on it, and I'd be very interested to hear your take on this. Okay, guys? So all of you watching right now, if you have a take on this, you have any opinions on this, I would love to hear them. I'll definitely read them. Okay? Well, let me just fix the camera here. But the number one thing, guys, you cannot make an omelet. You cannot make an omelet without breaking eggs, right? You cannot move forward, without making changes. You really can. And good morning, Liz. Good morning. And Comic Book Bob says it's right. It's probably Cavill fans because want him back as Superman. I want him back as Superman, right? But at the same time, you understand if you want like it or not, what DC has done so far hasn't worked. Hasn't worked in terms of the box office. Hasn't worked in terms of the general population's interest in it. Okay? No matter what we feel about the movies, I loved the Zack Snyder Justice League. I thought it was fantastic. It did not give them the extra subscribers they wanted on what's it called? On HBO Max, which is now called Max apparently right now. It did not give them that extra boost that they thought it would. In fact, what does even better than that are like movies that were out in the theaters, right? And depending on what you think about those movies, like all of them, a lot of them were very indecisive. Okay, Wonder Woman 1984 tanked, right, in terms of critics. Now, Aquaman did very well, over $1 billion. Over $1 billion, it did very, very well. Shazam did well, okay, for its budget. Shazam did okay for a budget, but didn't do anything astronomical. Now, one question I do have is, what does that mean for the James Gunn stuff? Peacemaker. What does that do for Peacemaker? What does that mean for Harley Quinn? Is Harley Quinn still there? Because that is attached to Suicide Squad, his Suicide Squad, and Peacemaker. Are they gone too? Are they gone too? Maybe they are. Okay? But if they're truly starting from, and I always said this too, I actually wanted them to start from scratch. If they want any shot of matching what Marvel's doing, and like it or not, they will always be compared to Marvel. Unfair or not, okay? They will always be unfair or not. If they have any shot, I think they do need to start fresh. And I think they do need to do something new and innovative and get younger actors, right? And make a plan and stick with it. Like, part of me also thinks, guys, what would have happened if they actually just stuck with that plan that they originally had? Because remember that investor call they had years ago, where they actually laid down the slate. And when I say years ago, I'm talking about like a good 10 years ago, where they laid down all of these movies, the Cyborg movie, like all of these movies they had planned. And then they scrapped all of their ideas. And what would have happened if they just went ahead and went through with it instead of canceling all of them? What would have happened? We actually don't know what would have happened. Would that have been enough to build a DC universe that is comparable to Marvel? We actually have no idea. We don't know. We don't know. So sorry, guys. I'm just getting some reference here. My apologies. Whenever I go quiet, I'm looking for reference here, guys. Whenever I go quiet, I'm looking for reference. So at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know. And I do think it is foolish for people to already go, fire James Gunn. That's a knee-jerk reaction. Okay? Everybody complaining that Wonder Woman was canceled, right? Everybody complaining that Wonder Woman was canceled. Here's the thing. Wonder Woman had a lot of things going against it. Like, a lot of people did not like that movie. Not just the fans, but the critics as well. A lot of critics didn't like that movie either. At least for Suicide Squad, it had rave reviews. Okay? Despite the very poor performance at the box office, it had rave reviews. I didn't actually see it personally. I know what happens, but I never seen Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, James Gunn Suicide Squad personally. Because I seen that comparison where people are like, oh, Gal Gadot's movie Patty Jenkins' movie doesn't do well. She gets fired. James Gunn movie doesn't do well. He becomes the head of DC, right? I've seen stuff like that, right? And that's a very blanket statement. You know, that sounds like people who don't know what's in the know. It's very armchair chair quarterbacking. It's very, just us at home. Decided we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We don't know. We don't know. And we really don't know this plan either. Like, these are leaked. These are leaked plans. We have no idea what these plans are. The real plans are, we don't know. And we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if we like it or not. We'll have to wait and see if we like the new direction. And it's going to take a movie, guys. It's going to take a movie to decide whether we're liking this new direction. And that won't be for years. We actually won't know for years if their plan's going to work or not. So at this point, it's too early. I think it's just way too early to make a decision. It's just way too early to make a decision where this is the right move or not. But they needed to do something, guys. I think they really, really needed to do something. You know what? If they want to get this thing right on track, I really believed a fresh start was what they really needed. Now, a couple of interesting things in that story. Number one was the fact Jason Momoa is going to play Lobo. That's been a fan casting for a long time. Jason Momoa playing Lobo. And again, not confirmed, but that was what's in the plans. Now, I see people, bringing up Chris Evans as Captain America and as it's Johnny Storm, okay, as an example of how that can work. Or people are bringing up Cersei. But the biggest difference, here's the difference between that, guys. Here's the problem. Is that when, the reason I don't like that comparison is because, number one, Johnny Storm is not the character Aquaman is, nor did Chris Evans in that movie have the same charisma that Jason Momoa has. It's just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jason Momoa has this personality, a very distinct personality, where it's hard to, when he plays different characters, it's hard to distinguish between them because it looks like Jason Momoa, right? Whereas, Chris Evans, when he was Johnny Storm, we didn't know who Chris Evans was at that time. Like, I knew him because he was in that. I remember Chris Evans because I'm like, that's the dude from Not Another Teen Movie. Have you guys seen that? Not Another Teen Movie, right? That's where I knew Chris Evans from, and then I'm like, oh yeah, cool. He's gonna be Johnny Storm. That's cool. So that didn't bother me when he was cast as Captain America. But again, we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna love it. Like I think he's gonna do great as Lobo. It will be weird at first. It will be, but at the same time, now thinking about it, like thinking out loud, it might not be weird because if all the Snyderverse characters are gone, right? If our version of Superman and Batman are gone, then it's not going to matter that he's a new character because he's a new character in this new universe that they're building, this new rebirth. Maybe they're going to call it that. Maybe they're going to call this the New 52. DC Cinematic Universe. Or, maybe they are working towards a Kingdom Come, right? Because remember a few days ago, James Gunn, he tweeted out a picture of Kingdom Come. And he said big things are happening. So maybe this new DC, what they are building towards is their end game is Kingdom Come. That's what they're working towards. which could be very interesting. For those of you who don't know, Kingdom Come was a very cool story created by Alex Ross, written by Mark Waid, and one of the best DC stories of all time. So if that's their direction, I could totally see them doing some new things with it, right? So that could be where they're going. They are leading towards their end game being Kingdom Come, which is not a bad thing at all. I'd be super excited for that. And I could see the need for building a brand new DC. I could see the need for recasting for all of that stuff. So we'll see. We will see. Okay, take care, Les. Take care, Les. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, guys, that is definitely. I'm in wait and see mode. I am not the sky is falling mode. As much as I love Cavill, as much as I want him as Superman, I want an even stronger DC movie universe more. I want that more than that. Okay, so if that's the case, we'll see what happens. We are in wait and see mode, guys. We are in wait and see. And hopefully it's fantastic. Hopefully it's great. But for people to be shouting, the sky is falling, and then what is he doing? You act like you know how to make movies, right? Now, at the same time, guys, like I am not one. Like for example, when someone tells me my work sucks, right? I'm the first guy to tell you, well, do they have a point, or are they just trying to be mean, right? Are they just trying to be mean, or do they have a point? Okay. A lot of people like to argue when somebody complains about their artwork, like, you tried drawing it. Or they go, like, you've never lifted a pencil in your life. Good luck with that. Well, who are you to criticize? Well, if that was the case, guys, like, why are there sportscasters? Right? Why are there critics like that, right? Why do people criticize politicians? They've never done politics before, right? We like to criticize our favorite basketball players or football players or soccer players. We've never played soccer. Does that mean we're not allowed to say when a soccer player didn't perform up to their performance? No. Doesn't mean that at all. So, of course, we have the right to say, I don't like what he's doing. That's fine. But at the end of the day, too, we don't know the plan. We don't know the official plan. We're hearing snippets here and there. Number one, we don't know the plan. Number two, we haven't seen the plan. And I think we'll know better once we see the plan. However, you are starting off on the wrong foot here. We are starting off on the wrong foot here where people are, it's the, that's right, Russell, that's right. It's like the, I call this the mustache effect. The Superman mustache effect. Where people have already gone into a movie, already made up their minds. They already made up their minds that they're not going to like this movie. They already made up their minds that they're not going to like this project. And they're going to go in and they're going to do their best to make sure that they don't like it. Okay? They're going to find things that they don't like. If they go in with that attitude that they're not going to like this project. And you know what? To each his own. You're entitled to do that too. You're 100% entitled to do that too. I'm wait and see. I am. Let's see how good or bad this is going to be. Okay. Now, when it comes to James Gunn himself as a filmmaker, and we'll see which, and let's hope that he's going to actually make some of these movies. We'll see. He might not be. Maybe he's just producing them. Let's hope he's going to make some of these movies. I wasn't a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I thought it was okay. But I thought the first one was way superior to the second one. The holiday special was good. I thought it was all right. But I don't know, man. And I haven't watched the Suicide Squad. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the Suicide Squad because I haven't watched it. But, I thought it was okay. But I thought there were too many jokes or too many forced jokes in Guardians 2. So definitely wasn't my favorite. Okay, let's just say that. It definitely wasn't my favorite. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. Right? And Comic Book Bob says, social media in a nutshell, overacting and outrage from a few disguised as the majority. Exactly. And we think it's the majority. We think it's the majority. And people are like, everybody on Twitter talk about it. But then you look at how many people actually commented on it, and maybe a few thousand. But then it's considered as trending, quote unquote trending. But so you think everybody's talking about it, when really they're not. Really, they're not. Really, the casual folk, they're not. It's just those few very loud people who know how to use those platforms that are talking about it, right? So whatever. I'm here hoping for the best. I'm here rooting for a DC I could get behind. I'm here rooting for enjoyable movies. That's all I'm rooting for. I'm rooting to be entertained. I'm rooting to be entertained. Yeah. So I agree with Bob. I agree with Bob there about Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm rooting to be entertained. And I'm hoping that this plan works. I really am. If this is what we're going to get, I want it to work. Okay? And I'll decide in the theater. I'm not going to decide before I see anything. Okay? I'll decide when I actually go and watch that movie. If it's good or not. Because it's just going to be an interesting couple of years, you know? Which brings a question about this Flashpoint movie, right? Because apparently it's amazing, this Flashpoint movie. Hearing from, but then again, you always hear this from, test screenings. But I have friends who have friends who went to the test screenings who say it's absolutely amazing. That Flash movie, which is why they really want to still release that thing. Why they don't Batgirl it, right? Is because they say it's amazing. But if it doesn't fit in with this new DC, it's like, what's the point? You know? They're hoping to recoup that money, but the people who go watch it, it won't lead to anything. Well, I guess, at the end of the day, shouldn't movies be, a one and done anyway? Shouldn't movies be you watch it, self-contained, and then, you move on? Move on. So, there you go. Beerwolf says the thing that sucks about today is when you give valid criticism, people jump on you. I get people troll, but some people bring up valid points. You know what? That's very true. Also, that's very true. Also, but here's the thing about social media, guys. But you know what? I'm not gonna get into it. Let's not get into that. I don't want. This is not the place for that. Okay. So I was about to go into this whole rant, but we're not gonna go there, guys. We're not gonna go there. But I will say, I love you all, and your opinion matters to me. Okay? Your opinion matters to me, no matter what your opinion is. Okay? If you think my work's no good, that's great. Okay? If for example, you guys could say, my work sucks. All right? Now, if you leave it at that, you just go, James, your work sucks, and then leave it at that and run. Or this stream sucks, you say that and run. Okay? That I don't respect. Okay? But I will respect if you say, James, your work sucks, but this is why. James, this stream sucks. This is why. Okay? That I respect. And that I take to heart and that I consider. Okay? I will consider that. Absolutely. Because I want to do better for you guys. Okay? If you have a valid, I wouldn't say valid reason, even you have a reason why, other than because. Right? Because why? Because why? Okay? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you not liking my work. No problem. No problem. Art is subjective. Art is subjective. I would love to know your reasoning, so maybe if you have a valid point, I want to fix it. I want to fix it, right? If it's a valid point. Like yesterday, someone thought that the building should be smaller. That I have here in this piece, right? You know what? That's a valid opinion for sure. We might have differing opinions. I have my reasons why I think it should be this height, and mainly because of the scale of the characters. Because I think, okay, if they were that small, how big are these dinosaurs, right? How big are these Barney characters here, right? That was my issue with that. But you know what? If that's what that person thought, that's totally cool. I'm cool with that. I think there's one more Barney character, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it is what it is. It is what it is, right? So very interesting times for DC Comics. So I just want to get that out of the way because it's what everybody's talking about right now. Whole DC Comics, right? And I'm gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna hope for the best. It's a new plan, and I always said, and I always told you guys this: if they really, really, really wanted this to be fresh, they needed to get rid of what happened before it. So I do hope that they're consistent and just get rid of everything. Though, I bet you though, they are not getting rid of James Gunn's wife. James Gunn's wife. What's her name? The blonde girl from Peacemaker. That's James Gunn's wife. I have a feeling they're not going to get rid of her character. They'll figure out a way to keep James Gunn's wife in this franchise. That's what they're going to do. Like I always tell you guys, it's who you know. It's who you know. Or they might surprise you. You never know. Maybe he will say, look, we'll just find another role for you. Okay? So, it is what it is. So, interesting DC. Interesting DC. But by the way, guys, I am thinking about that cover idea, and we'll wait for Apple to come on here. We'll wait for Apple to come on here. But we were talking about yesterday about the record-breaking cover that I'm planning on doing. That we are going to start. Probably we're going to start in January, guys. If this comes to fruition, and I'll give Apple a call today. If this comes to fruition, and we will be doing breaking the cover record twice project for 2023. We're going to start that in January. But I was thinking about it. So most likely what we're going to do is we're going to do the Marvel cover first. With the hope of actually finishing it by when Ant-Man comes out. And then we're going to do the DC one later, afterwards, and have that ready in time for the Flash movie to come out. Okay, so you see what I'm doing there, eh? Those are my two. Oh, well, you never know. If I can finish it earlier, why not? But you know what I was thinking about doing was that the Marvel comic one, I'm going to draw 563 characters. And the DC one, because I need to break the record again, right? Now I own the record. I'm going to draw 564 characters. So DC's going to win. Marvel's had too many wins. DC finally gets a win. There you go. Thanks to me. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm going to draw a Riff here. Let's see where I can put Riff. I might put Riff. How big is Riff? Not Rob. Riff. Is Riff the smallest, guys? He's about the same as they're all about the same height. They're all about the same height. So man, these characters are scary, no? These characters are scary, no? There you go. Let me see what kind of characters Riff is. Riff is a hadrosaur. What's a hadrosaur? Let's find out. What does that look like? So 1,127 characters combined. That's right, my friend. That's right. There's a lot of characters. But over 6 months, that's not bad. So this is a hadrosaur. I'm looking up hadrosaur. And there's a couple of different variations of it. Looking at this hadrosaur style dinosaur here. Interesting. Okay. All right. So, with that in mind, guys, okay, I'd love to know your thoughts. If you have any thoughts on DC or Marvel, you have any thoughts on all this James Gunn stuff, or you could tell me what you guys want to draw tomorrow. Now, tomorrow is Friday, so we could do the Loki piece tomorrow. You know, and I will try to actually get that done quickly, right? So I will need to start early because again, I have a hard out at 6 a.m. Okay, I have a hard out at 6 a.m. Tomorrow. So, because I need to actually go somewhere in the morning. So first of all, we're going to start very early tomorrow. I will set like 5 alarms. We're going to start very early. If I could start at 2 a.m., we will. Okay. Let me just see here. Okay. Hello, everyone on Instagram. Hi, 4 people on Instagram. Good to see you. Louis OAA says, awesome. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you guys on Instagram. Hello on Instagram. Hello, everyone who's joining in on Instagram. Hello. 100%. 100% on Instagram. There you go. So it might start 2 a.m. So for you guys, a lot of you guys that's staying up late, right? 2 a.m. Pacific time. That's what, 11 p.m. Hey, I'm starting early. So 2... But to be honest, if I can be realistic, probably around 3 o'clock we're going to start. So between 3 and 6, okay? We'll try to do that Loki piece between 3 and 6, okay? So let's go ahead and draw this last character here. It's a weird looking thing. Oh boy. Is that hair? Is that hair? Trying to see, is that hair on him? Let me go riff drawing. It's hard to tell actually with the costume reference. I'm trying to see how he's interpreted in other media here. Mario says looks great. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you very much. And again, thank you guys for joining me on the morning show this morning with the big DC news coming out. So I guess I'll put him here in the corner. So what we'll do is we'll forego this building here. I'm going to add I love you. You love me. We're a happy family. Yeah, most dinosaurs have hair now, right? They believe they have hair. They believe they have feathers. But that's one of the things, it's very interesting with these archaeologists here. How do you know? Like, really, how do you know? I guess the only way they know is trying to compare them to species that are, and I'm nowhere near smart enough to understand all this stuff, guys. But how would they know? Like they find bones, great, right? But how would they know what the skin looks like? Like really, how would they know? The only way, I guess, is comparing it to other species that are here now, right? Or looking at comparables now. That's what I would assume. But hey, there's no way I'm getting into a scientific talk here because I'm not a Neil deGrasse Tyson in the least, right? I'm more like a Neil deGrasse Jake Paul. It's a bad reference. Okay. Well, Jake Paul is a great fighter, though. But forget that. I failed science, so. My science is a lightsaber. Yes, lightsaber. There you go. Giant chickens closer to the birds. Yeah, I guess. But I'm not going to pretend I know what's going on. I'm not even going to pretend. Because you don't really know, right? You don't really know. Like for all we know, it could have like the skin that we've never seen before, right? But again, Yeah, whatever. Again, I'm not smart enough to. I'm not smart enough to argue the subject. Not even argue, even talk about the subject. So I'm not going to talk about things I don't know. Then I guess I shouldn't talk about art. Chicken! Did you know I got copyright claim for that video, by the way? Take that, Family Feud Canada. Copyright claimed my video because I had that chicken clip in there. They copyright claimed my video because I had the chicken clip in there. Can you believe that? Thanks, Family Feud Canada. Jerry D. Jerry D hosts Family Feud Canada. It wasn't that long of a clip, too, right? But you know that was the first viral clip they've had, so I guess they're just trying to make sure nobody else has that viral clip except themselves. But chicken, still a funny clip though. You know, at the same time they do own the clip, which you know what brings a point with this new shorts thing, guys. This is interesting, guys. Here's the thing with shorts. Okay, so in a few months. They are rolling around monetization for shorts on YouTube. Fantastic. Woohoo, great. However, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to those people who take, like, for example, clips of like a Mr. Beast interview, or even like someone who like takes a clip of my drawing and puts it up as a short, right? Do they get the revenue or do I? Right? Or the person reacting, the person just say, you know, you've seen those videos, right? Those duets on TikTok where somebody's doing something cool on the side, and all the person is he's just sitting there like this and going like this, right? They're just doing this. If they put that short up and it goes viral, who gets the cash for that? Is the person who made the cool art or the cool TikTok video, or the person doing this? They got a lot of explaining to do. Right? Because that's not fair. Like, you know, yes, the person could copyright claim it for sure, but you know, but you got to find it first. And you know, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. It's very tough, you know. Because especially if that video gets like millions upon millions of views, which it can. Like with shorts, it can, right? Who gets the money for that? Like seriously. So it's going to be really interesting. The first few months of this program, the shorts program, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. It's going to be very, very interesting. I'd like to see. I want to see what happens. I really do want to see what happens here. Okay, I'm going to draw the last character here. But then again, I've ranted about people copying each other on TikTok all the time. Like it's from a guy who used to like, even if you use the person's reference, even if I use the reference pic, like right now I'm looking at a reference of Riff here. Some people, even that's bad. Like some people are like, what? You're looking at a picture while you draw? You can't draw. Right? You know, coming from that life, right? So even if you had like a photo of somebody that you took yourself, and then you show that you're looking at that while you're drawing, right? People are like, oh man, look at this. It's cheating. You're a cheater. You're cheating, cheater. You cheater. To today on TikTok, where people literally rip the same audio off of somebody's TikTok and just recreate their TikTok entirely. Call it a trend, and then they get all the views for it, right? That's the worst thing. It's dumb. And again, I really believe comedians have it the worst on TikTok. Comedians, they're the worst. They have it the worst because they could come up with the cleverest TikTok ever. Like, have you guys seen that TikTok or YouTube? It's probably been on Instagram and stuff. Have you seen the one where the guy sits down and a girl sits down beside him, and then they put the hand on the shoulder, and the girl moves away, and then you realize it's somebody behind the couch, and the hand is on that shoulder? Have you guys seen that TikTok before or short? The first one I saw of that, I'm like, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant joke. But then all these bigger influencers came and they did the exact same thing. They just outright copied it. Outright go ahead and copy that TikTok. Someone brilliant came up with that idea. And you have no idea who it is. Because then all of these giant TikTokers came and did the exact same thing. These giant TikTokers came, did the exact same thing, and got 10 times more views than the original guy did. Or they came up with a funny skit. And what do these big TikTokers do? They'll go and take the audio of that and totally recreate the exact same thing. They like lip sync it. And then those bigger TikTokers, they get the credit for it. When the person who came up with the awesome idea, the hilarious idea, their videos get 1/10 of the views that the bigger TikTokers do. That's TikTok. And the thing is, that's coming over to YouTube because that's what's working. Okay, so it's going to be, they copy it exactly. Like the food guy. You guys know the food guy? You know the old food guy? You know that song, just, so he has this big pile of food. He pours something on it. He eats it, and then he does this dance like this. He does this dance like that. This older guy, Canadian guy too, he came up with that. And he actually got really popular because of that. But then every single TikToker came, and then they copied him, right? Every single big time, but then you know what they call it? They call it a trend. That's how they disguise it. Oh, no, it's not copying. It's a trend. And you argue them on that, and then they get mad, right? If you argue them on that point. So that's the one thing I hate it when people copy someone's hard work. I really don't like it. You know what I mean? But it's accepted. That's what the world we live in right now. It's just accepted, right? So it is what it is, right? Liz says, I hate it on Instagram even more because they take the videos and don't even credit anyone, for sure. And that's the thing too, right? As long as you tag the original person in your post, then it's okay. They say it's okay. If you don't tag, now everyone's mad, right? But how many people actually hit that person that did the original? Not many, right? Well, it is what it is. Nobody has an original idea these days. Whatever. I'm just ranting. But even when I was saying before, when I was complaining about the person who does the, there's a cool video and then they just go like this. Oh yeah, listen to this guy. Yeah. Listen to this guy, right? And then they get even more views, right? And then they think they did something, right? You call them out on it, right? And then they make fun of you, right? You call them out on it, and the generation today, they make fun of you for that, right? So, at the end of the day, it's not even worth pointing out anymore because they're not going to change. It's not going to change. It is what it is. In fact, we should take advantage of that, guys. You should do it. Yeah, give credit to the person. But you know what they do, Mario? All they do is, like, for example, they'll just tag them at the bottom. That's it. That's all they'll do. They'll never shout them out. They'll never say their name. There's never anything there that says originally from this guy. And how many people actually read the caption at the bottom? Not many, right? Yeah, my buddy says, get off my lawn, old man. That's right. Well, you know what? Maybe I am an old man. That's society. That's what they do today. That's what accepted. It is what it is. I can't change it. Whatever. That's called a reaction. I'm not going to get into that because I have friends who are reactors. I have my own thoughts. But we're not going to get into the reactors. Okay? Because I got friends who are reactors. Though, at the same time, I tried to do a reaction channel. You guys remember that? I tried to do a reaction channel because I thought it was easy. It's not. It takes a lot of time and effort, right? If I just actually focused, yeah, exactly. Liz is right, man. Liz is right. You point them out, they make fun of you. You critique them and they treat it as hate. That's right. Yeah, haters. You don't like what I do, yeah, haters. Yeah, whatever. It's not worth for me, guys. It's like I rant about this because it's thoughts you have. But it's really not worth pursuing because it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? That's the way, that's accepted and that's the way it is. So, that's why it's hard to have original ideas these days, guys. And I always tell you guys, is there any such thing as an original idea these days? Even on YouTube, guys, and I'll tell you this right now on YouTube. For those of you guys want to be YouTubers, I always tell you guys this. And I've been telling you guys this for years, even before this TikTok thing. The way to do YouTube is not necessarily to do something original. In fact, you might be behind the ball if you start off YouTube doing something original. Do something that you see is working. Do something that you see is working, but then put your own spin on it. Okay? Do your own version of it. That's how I would get started. For all of you guys wanting to start an art channel, go look, see what's working. See what's getting viral out there in the art world or whatever niche you want on YouTube. Okay? Whatever that is. Cooking, whether that be whatever. Advice, whatever. See what's working and do your version of that. Okay? That's how you get started on YouTube. That's where you get a better shot of being recommended by YouTube. If you're doing something that everybody else is doing, but you're doing your own version of it, which is hopefully as good, if not better. So, okay. Anyway, let me just stretch there. Nathan has a good idea there. Maybe a good idea for you is to do Transformers, but do them in human body armor. That'd be fun. So I'm going to ask you right now, guys, what should we do? Not just tomorrow, but the weekend. Okay? What are we going to do this weekend? Okay? This weekend is a very important weekend for myself. It's my daughter's birthday this weekend. Yep. There you go. So super excited for this weekend. But what are we going to draw this weekend, my friends? Yeah, my daughter's turning 18. Can you believe that? 18. So super excited for the weekend. But we will still stream every single day. Mario really wants Yu-Gi-Oh! There you go. Kelsey says, happy early birthday. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yep. Let me tell you a little story about my daughter. Maybe I should wait till the weekend to tell this story. But my daughter, I remember I was actually working on well, it actually fits because when I was working on Wonder Woman, my wife was pregnant with my daughter when I was working on Wonder Woman. And I remember the day that I sent my last pages in. Okay, so my last pages for Wonder Woman, I sent to my friend, the FedEx lady. Like I told you, she's the only one I keep in contact with every week. So I put those pages in that FedEx box and I shipped them off. And I told my wife, okay, tonight we're going for a dinner because we knew the baby was coming soon. Let's go for a final dinner together because it wouldn't be just us anymore, right? Just me and my wife. It wouldn't be us anymore. We were going to be a family now, or we were gonna have an addition to the family. So let's go for dinner because this might be our last dinner together, just you and I, before the baby comes, right? And then what happened right when I sent in my pages? My wife went into labor. My wife went into labor. So we couldn't go out to eat anymore. Now we called the hospital, and they that's called they wanted us to wait as long as possible before going to the hospital. Okay. She's going to college, Christopher. She is going to college, by the way. So they made us wait for quite the while. So I literally just handed in my final DC pages, and then my wife went into labor. And then, yeah, we waited as long as possible. So when we actually got to the hospital, it was time. We were ready to go. Once we got in the hospital, baby was coming. And then she was born. My baby girl was born. So that was 18 years. That was 18 years ago, guys. My last DC job, but when I worked on Wonder Woman for DC, when I finished that job, 18 years ago, my friends. 18 years ago. So actually, it was kind of good that I had a little bit of time off because, I needed time to take care of it. I was a new dad. Brand new dad. That time. So I had the new addition to the family. So that kind of fit in with the DC story, right? Just a little bit. A little bit. Let's see here. So, but someone asked if she draws. She drew a little bit before, but not really. She's actually a little bit more into calligraphy than drawing itself. So, but yes, she is going to college next year. So there you go. So that is exciting. Though, you know what we always notice? It always snows when it's my daughter's birthday. No matter where we are. We were in Vancouver, it snowed. Like, it does snow in Vancouver, but not a lot. It's mostly rain. But even in Vancouver, it was her birthday and it snowed. Right over there. So. Exciting times, my friends. Exciting times. So what are we going to draw this weekend, my friends? What are we going to draw this weekend? You let me know. Let's see here. Webmaster wants Transformers. Quentin says, have I ever done a Lord of the Rings or Hobbit piece? I've never done that. Actually, I was thinking about doing one of those. That could be definitely interesting for sure. We could try one of those. Let's see here. What time is it, by the way? 6:22, guys. I need to make sure we have enough time to do the buildings. I was going to do the building first, but changed my mind. Let's see here. GoBots versus Transformers. That's a lot of work, man. That's a lot of work. My daughter's characters, in honor of my daughter. My daughter didn't create any characters, I don't think. I don't think she created any characters. So, we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let's say, you know what, guys? Maybe we will do the Loki tomorrow. Maybe we'll do the Loki tomorrow. Did she design some of the Race Cinematic Universe? No, she didn't. That was my other daughter. I have 2 kids. I have 3 kids, guys. I have 3 kids. That was my other daughter who designed for the Race Cinematic Universe. So, let's see here. Have a go at Mark Curley's finger painting. I'll be honest, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that before. A Venomized Spawn. That could be interesting. That'll look like a lot of fun. We could do some Venom stuff. I told you guys I have that Venom Lego I've been meaning to draw. We could do a most detailed Venom drawing, but it's like a Venom mech, right? We could do something like that. Actually, I wouldn't mind doing that. That might not be a bad idea, Mario. Because I've been wanting to do something like that. My brush pens are running out. This is my last brush pen, guys. I'm so sad. This is my last brush pen, and I'll see my friends will still send me some more. Send me some more. What's it called? Pens, but it would that would take a while. This is my last brush pen, and it's starting to run out. I can feel it. See that? Starting to run out. Poor brush pen. Starting to run out. Starting to run out. This one looks the most cartoonish out of all of them, right? Definitely looks the most cartoonish, right? So, yeah, someone wants me to do the Beast Wars piece. So we'll see. We have a couple days. I think I will do the Loki tomorrow. Just something to, though. Well, here's the deal, guys. If I end up doing like a longer piece instead, if we forego the Loki piece and do like a bigger piece instead, at the very least, I have a couple days to work on it, as opposed to being time constricted for the Loki one. Okay, so let me chew on that, guys. But again, keep those suggestions coming. Definitely keep those suggestions coming. I'd love to hear them. Let's try to figure this out right now. I'm sitting cross-legged, guys. I think on Instagram they can see me sitting cross-legged. Bearwolf wants Teddy Ruxpin, Alf ET, all his Terminators. You're going for it, my friend. You're going for it. You are going for it. Yeah, so. Anywho. Okay, let's see. But this marker ran out. This marker here, it ran out last night because I left it open. I left it open last night, so there you go. Let's see here. See? Nothing. Nothing. That's what I get. Let's see if the other side works. The other side might work. Oh, it does. So I could only use this for the bigger areas. There you go. Okay. There you go. Reboot. That's an interesting one there, guys. Reboot. My friend Jim Sue was a big part of Reboot. Jim, who lives in Vancouver now. Jim, he remember I told you guys I was in a comic book studio when I was in high school, and I'll tell you guys about that experience one day. But Jim was a part of that studio, and then he ended up taking computer animation at Shin College years before I did, and then he got a job working at Mainframe, and that was the job he did. He worked on Reboot, so he actually got the poster license for Reboot. So he was actually able to make official Reboot posters and sell them. Now back then, like they were very, very strict with the licenses, so it's a lot easier now to do that stuff like that. But he was selling original posters as a side hustle on the side of Reboot because he had all the license to do Reboot merchandise. So that brings me back a little bit, right? There you go. The Littles. That sounds. Oh, I remember the Littles. I remember the Littles. I do remember the Littles. There you go. You know, back in the day, we didn't have Copics when I was in college. We didn't have Copics then. Back then, it was a marker called Tria markers. Have you guys ever heard of Tria markers? It was either the Prismacolor markers or the Tria markers. Those were the two big markers at the time. Have you guys ever heard of Tria markers? Have you guys ever heard of Tria markers? But anyway, so you buy a Tria marker, but then they have refills. Like Daniel was saying, you just refill mine way cheaper. He just had refills, right? But the thing is, we're students, and they didn't lock up the refills. So, well, what a lot of I saw a lot of people do, what they would go into the studio or they would go into the store, and then they would take the refill and they would refill their marker in the store, trying to hide it. But they would refill the marker in the store. Thieves, you thieves, you thieves. There you go. Care Bear, I've done that already. I've never released that video. I should. You know what? I gotta find that footage. I gotta release that video. I did that video. When did I go to the Philippines? Like 3 years ago. I did that video. He's asking me to do superhero, Filipino superheroes. I've done that already. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna see if I have a ruler. I'm gonna cheat here, guys. Well, guys, I don't have a ruler, so freehand it is. Freehand it is. Be careful, guys. I'm a professional. I'm a professional freehander. Okay, so I'm going to add some smoke here. Won't be as refined smoke, but there's a little bit of smoke there. Doesn't hurt. Can you refill an empty micron pen with ink? No. From what I heard, no. From what I hear, no. But yeah. Now, I used to use repeatographs, and those are refillable. Repeatographs, and you could, those are probably better. Repeatograph pens. They're actually better because you can actually put like real permanent ink in them. Just not unlike unlike the microns, which are more like markers, right? Like thin markers. Repeatographs, they are. I'm gonna get a new marker, by the way. I need a new marker for these buildings here. Let me see if I can get some building references here. Let's see. Are you going to be putting on a big Filipino gathering for your daughter? It can't be a Filipino party without karaoke. We are, but not right now because now is actually a very, very busy time for our families. So we are going to do it probably maybe in January. We are going to do a giant, not giant, closest friends that are coming together for a big party. We call it, in the Philippines, we call it a debut. Have you guys ever heard of that? A debut. When you turn 18. So think of it like a sweet 16 party for other cultures. We do something called a debut. So that's when you turn 18. When the girl turns of 18, they have a debut. Will we have karaoke then? Maybe. Actually, I wouldn't mind having karaoke. It depends on the place we get. Or we're still looking for a place, but we'll see. We'll see how they go. So Liz had her debut before the Philippines. There you go. Okay. So let me. I'm just getting some building reference here, guys. Okay, so just give me a second here. Now these buildings won't be as refined as I usually do because I don't have a ruler. Okay. Okay, so just give me a second here, guys. won't be as refined. Because part of me wants to do like just like a nighttime type thing. Because if I keep it dark, it won't be too bad. So I got about like an hour to do, get some like smaller buildings in here, guys. Let's see here. You know, I could see what some people were saying here, that the building should be smaller, because if you look at these old Godzilla posters, which is what I'm looking at right now, he's actually pretty huge, like this Godzilla here. So I might actually take that guy's advice yesterday that said maybe the building should be smaller, right? So, because I'm looking at these older Godzilla posters here and see the scale of everything, and yeah, they're actually pretty small. Yeah. Yeah, and it got bigger and bigger, right? So, okay, let's try it. Let's try it. Open up, Bucker. Let's open. And worst comes to worst, I'll just turn it into smoke, guys. It just comes to worst. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Here we go. You guys are ready. Let's go. Now I'm gonna ask you guys, because I am curious what I should do. Because not, and also because of the time of the morning, right? Not in terms of YouTube, okay? Which I don't mind, but part of me is thinking, should I be doing these streams on a different channel? Okay, I'm asking you guys this because I'm unsure. We've been doing this for over a month now, and it's been a lot of fun. Definitely been a lot of fun. But I'm wondering if I should be doing these daily streams somewhere else as opposed to the main channel. So I'm going to ask you guys that. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Should I be doing these streams on this channel or not? Well, I guess for some of you, it doesn't really matter. You're going to follow me no matter where, right? But because I'll be honest too, the views that I'm getting on these videos, not that it matters too much, but the views I'm getting here, it's actually very similar to what I was getting on my other channel. YouTube has the biggest reach than Twitch. No, yeah, I'm not talking about YouTube itself, because I am streaming on Twitch as well right now. Right, so, but I'm just wondering if I should keep it on this particular channel, or should I do it on my second channel? That's what I'm trying to figure out, Because the reason I started streaming again on my main channel, one of the main reasons I started streaming again on the main channel was because, right, the way YouTube started formatting things, where they actually have a live tab now. So if you actually go to YouTube, you see that everything's separated, right? They separate the shorts, they separate the live tab, and then in terms of the subscription feed, like I mentioned before, it turns out a lot of people aren't watching YouTube from the subscription feed. They're watching from the homepage. So what's being recommended on the homepage, that's actually more what they're watching right now. So I don't know. It's whatever I prefer, right, at this point. Because I am noticing also my regular videos are suffering, though at the same time, they're very experimental. My newer videos, I'm like not doing the old stuff, like the 10-minute, 1 minute, 10-second challenge or anything like that. So it could be just the subject matter of those other videos. They're not, they're not that clickable, as we say. So I do think about those things, even though at the end of the day, of course, I want as many people to watch these as possible. So I'm wondering if it's actually hurting that I'm putting these on this channel, because like, at the same time, if there was like a noticeable difference in terms of if there was like a noticeable difference in terms of viewership compared to my other channels, then absolutely, right? But right now, like the viewership's about the same. It's about the same. But whatever. So Knuckle Sandwich says it doesn't matter. Like, I agree. I actually agree. I don't think it matters that much. So it's I mean, it's nice for others to see you click your channel playlist videos. Yeah, maybe, you know. Cameron's more interested in the streams. Right on. Let's see here. Idea you could on the weekend the silhouette style of Mecha and then leave them the viewers choose. So I'm not exactly sure what you mean there, Nathan. So let's see here. You could on the weekend silhouette style of Mecha and then leave the viewers. So I just show everyone the silhouette and then they choose and then surprise, I'm drawing this character. Is that what you're referring to? Just making sure I'm clear there, Nathan. So you might notice here, I'm drawing the buildings on a diagonal because my thought is that these buildings are starting to break up, right? So we go here. We're going to add some breakage like that. So Muddy still uses the subpage way more than the homepage. Yeah, for sure. I don't now. You know why I don't go to the subpage as much as the homepage? Because everything's a short now on the subpage. Did you notice that? It's like everything's a short now. Well, at least for the people I follow. Because everybody knows shorts are coming. Everybody knows shorts is the fastest way to grow, and it seems like my subpage is just full of shorts. That's all it is. So that's why I actually like going to the homepage because number one, it's not cluttered with shorts, right? It's not cluttered with shorts. It's not cluttered with, I want actual videos because on the homepage, all the shorts they're actually in a carousel, but on the subpage, it's not, right? So, yeah. Knuckle Sandwich says Twitch is more ideal for getting discovery because people they're only looking for live streams as his own art category. Yeah, for sure. And I'm actually on Twitch right now. I'm actually on Twitch. So we'll see. For now, we'll just stay here, guys. For now, I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much, right? It doesn't matter too much. Look how loose I am with this stuff, right? I don't care. James, get a ruler. Nah. And you know why I don't care as much here? Because the buildings are breaking down. So I actually don't mind it being a little bit looser. These lines, it kind of feels a little like it's being broken. It has that rustic feel, rough feel. Where's your ruler, James? I'm trying not to cheat. Where's your ruler, James? You cheater! You cheater. So, apologies for being a little quiet now, guys. I'm just making some decisions with these buildings here. I'm just trying to see what I want to do with these ones here. As you can see, it's very loose, very loose. Very loose. Very loose. Oops, you can't see what I'm doing here. Like, I'm making a lot of smoke. I'm making a lot of smoke here, guys. Let's see if I can fix these buildings up a little bit. All right. Let's see here. Do you like Barney? Sure. I just want to add to the cracked nature of these buildings here by really busting them up. Because even if these it doesn't want smaller buildings. Like, even if this was small, you see how big a person would be? If these are a window, right? If a person was standing here, this is how big a person is compared to Barney, right? Talk about scale. That's how big a person would be if they were actually inside this building here. So that's how big this person is compared to Barney here, right? Okay. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Just trying to get these other ones here, guys. Okay. Because I also want you guys to be able to see this, right? So let me 1 second here. Just pulling up some other building references here, guys. Just trying to take a look at little buildings that I like. By the way, do you guys like the ASMR nature? Can you hear? Can you hear the pen strokes? Maybe I should have a microphone just for pen strokes. Here, what do you guys think? Okay, and that actually brings another point. Do you guys like the music, or do you not like the music? Do you guys prefer music or no music when I'm talking here? Let's see here. Let's see. Daniel would love to see the studio workspace setup. It's just my bedroom, guys. Now I do have a little bit more of a setup downstairs, like especially when I was working. Like you guys see my recent videos when I was working with Mark and Kevin. Um, but right now, I don't work in a studio. I just work in my at home in my bedroom. So there's not really much to see in here. All you really see is a giant green screen behind me, and all you see is a giant green screen, and that's about it. That's all you really see. Big rock. Crunch, 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 crunch. There you go. Oh, I actually have two mics here, guys. And the reason is I'm actually recording this for a podcast. You guys know that. So the one that's right up to my face here, that's actually for the podcast mic. While this mic is for you. The reason they're separate is because for some reason when I upgraded to my computer to the new OS, it doesn't take the software for my audio software. Okay, I'm trying to get it worked on so that I could just have one mic because the podcast is actually much cleaner. The podcast mics is much cleaner than the audio you're hearing right now. But thank you for letting me know, guys. If ever you see like a big technical issue, by all means, please do let me know, and I'll do my best to kind of fix it up. Okay. So let me just move this up here like this. So I'm just kind of making this up as I'm going along, guys. Just making some lines here and there. Do you have a wall for the green screen? It's a green screen. It's a green screen. So it's a green screen that's chromed out. That's what I'm doing here. Are you back from Panata already, Liz? Are you back from Panata already? That was a fast one. I should go to yours. Oh, yes. All right, right on. How long? It's been so long since I compiled my kids' heroes again because I don't have any more. I would love to do more of my kids' drawings, but I don't have any more. They're done. Something like that. Something like that. You make people falling out of the sky. There you go. So it wasn't too long there. There you go, Liz. Oh, Unknown Tyrant came from Instagram. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Like, this is the better place to be. But again, hello to everybody on Instagram. Again, apologies. I cannot answer any comments on Instagram because I can't see them. I wish there was a way I could see it. And again, I tried seeing if I could see it here, but I can't. I thought I'd be able to see it on like a regular browser, but I cannot see. Let me try it again. Maybe is it here? Let's see if it's here. Let me see if I can try again. Instagram. I should still be signed into Instagram. No, it doesn't tell me I'm live. You can't see live. Can you watch Instagram live off a browser, guys? Can you do that? You know, I tried to click on my profile picture. It just says change profile picture. It doesn't. Let me just say quickly hi to everyone on Instagram. Hi, Instagrammers. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Oh, my gosh. Hi, Instagrammers. There you go. You see my actual Instagram. There you go. Hi. Sorry about that, Instagrammers. My apologies. Hello, Instagrammers. Hello. Hi, Ched Neto. Hello, Einstein's brother. Einstein's brother's here, guys. Look out. Einstein's brother's here. Hello, Ms. Mixzia Manabat. Hello. Gustav, all you guys. Ched Nato, have I done anything with NFTs? No, I have not. I did not take a course on that. I did not take advantage when it was hot. Anyway, I definitely can't get into it now. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, the Loon Draws. Thank you, guys. And again, apologies, guys, to everybody on Instagram here. James, Artist Human. Apologize to everybody who's watching on Instagram. I know it's a little tough to watch what's going on. While we try to finish off this particular drawing here, we're working on finishing it off. It's 7 o'clock now. I'm probably just going to work a half an hour on this, but you guys know TP Struman really wants Beyblade. Just doing nothing but that, right? But tablet, eh? Let me try tab. I'm going to try tablet tomorrow. Okay, I don't have a tablet. My daughter does. Let me see if tablet will work tomorrow, guys. Okay, so my Instagram friends here, again, my apologies. And hopefully I'll have that rectified by tomorrow. By the way, guys, the Box Office Art podcast is coming back today with 3 podcasts from the last few days. And again, my apologies because there was a little technical snag, but we got it sorted out. So that should be up later today. But by the way, if you are going to listen to this podcast, today's podcast, I will trim out the fat, as we like to say here, because there was quite a while where I wasn't talking. So I always like to trim out stuff that I don't think is interesting if I have time. But I know there's a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't, where I wasn't talking at all. So I will trim that stuff out and just leave the part where I'm just discussing everything. So basically, that's what we will do, okay? Well, we go ahead and we try to finish off what we are doing here. And thank you to everybody who's watching right now. We're going to go for another 30 minutes. 30 minutes, guys. We're going to finish this guy off here. All right, so there you go. Okay, we'll see. Okay, good night, Daniel. Good night, Daniel. Hello, Bed Hudo? Bed Hudo, hello, my friend. Hello, good to see you. Let's see here. Unknown Tyrants from Malaysia. There you go. I showed you the most detailed ones. It was the only one. No more. It's not for everybody, my friend. It's not for everybody. Let's see here. So I'm just going to inundate this with smaller buildings here. And guys, again, just because somebody does something quote unquote the most detailed, doesn't mean that it makes it a good drawing. I always tell you guys this. You know, details does not make the drawing. It doesn't. A good drawing makes a good drawing. Right now, I'm able to get away with really poor perspective on these things because technically everything's being busted up. That's the only way this would work. That's the only way doing the way I'm doing it right now would work, is because everything's being busted up, right? So it has the illusion that it's being trampled on, okay? Which is what I was going for. This would not work if they weren't being trampled on. If they were just kind of standing there like posing, the way I'm drawing the buildings here won't work. And I would need more of a straight edge to make it feel more, feel more like it should, okay? That's why this works okay. Not the best, but okay. Yeah, because of that. So. And I'm going to show you guys actually another technique that we do in comics that would actually help with something like this. Okay? Just bear with me. Let me just finish off a few of these little details here. And then I'm going to show you guys a couple of tricks on my sleeve here on the morning masterclass. I keep forgetting to say raise and shine, guys. Raise and shine. It's a morning masterclass with your friend, the box office artist. That's me. There you go. Raise and shine. Okay, so let me show you a little technique that we do in comics, okay? Well, I just add a couple more little details to this, and then I'll show you some little things we do. Okay, actually, let me just do one thing here before we even do that. Let me just... I'm just going to thicken up some of these smoke items here with the thicker brush, or with the thicker side of the marker here. I'm just thickening up this, kind of help separate the smoke. I'm your new age Bob Ross. Happy little smoke. Happy little smoke. Gonna draw some smoke lines. Just like that. Yeah. Some smoke lines. Apple! Apple! Love you, brother. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, my friend. While we try to finish off this Barney piece here. I'm gonna finish off this Barney piece here. Just gonna turn this around because just add a little bit of her, this character's legs here. Okay, so this is what we do in comics, okay? So in comics, this is what we do. We do this kind of like cross-hatching thing. So it's a way to darken it out without darkening it out. Okay, so what we do is I would go here and then I would actually draw all these little lines here like this. Am I actually teaching something today? What's up with that? Just like this. So it's like hatching, but going down like that. That's how we would do it. Okay, and then you could also put it down there. Happy little smoke lines. Happy little smoke line. Just like that. And then I'll try to blend in the top parts just a little bit. And if you want, you could go and you could do like horizontal lines as well. You could totally do something like that. That will help it. Okay. Let's turn this camera this way so you can see what's going on. Little morning class, morning master class. There you go. Let's see here. By the way, Apple, I'll call you this weekend about our little idea that we have going on. Because if we're gonna do it, I better get going on that thing. I'm gonna make it in time. If we're actually gonna do that idea, I actually have to make it on time. So. So let's go ahead and continue this all the way around here, just like so, just like that. Yes, call me. Yes, that's right. That's right, my brother. Yeah, I'll call you this weekend, my friend. I'll call you this weekend. It's it's my oldest daughter's birthday this weekend. So turning 18, my friend. Turning 18. Oh, time flies, my friend. Time flies. Though I don't think Apple has met my oldest daughter in person. I don't think Apple's met my kids yet. Right? Every time I go to Texas, it's just myself and my wife, if I'm not mistaken. Have you met my kid? I don't think Apple's met my kids before, right? So, okay, it is 7 a.m. for sure. Yep. So we are finishing off here, guys. We'll probably end around 7:30 today. So again, tomorrow, guys, I'm actually finishing a little bit earlier, so if you're used to coming a little bit late to these streams, you probably might not catch me tomorrow. I have a hard out tomorrow at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern tomorrow, so I might, I'm gonna do an earlier stream. I might do the Loki one tomorrow. I might, but we'll see. Okay, we'll see. As of right now, expect me to do the Loki piece. Okay, because we missed last week. So I told you guys I do want to put one out every week. We'll run out every week. So yeah. Jedi turns 5 too, right? Wow. Jedi's Apple's son, by the way. The cutest kid. Right on. He's turned 5 already, eh? Holy cow. Time flies, my friend. Time flies. Gotta make something special for Jedi when I get there. By the way, Apple's kid has the best name. Let me just say that. Apple's kid, he's got the best name ever. Wow. Time flies, my friends. Hello, Rebecca. Hello. 5 a.m. in India? Is it 5 a.m. in India? Or you mean tomorrow? It can't be 5 a.m. in India right now. That's not right. Are you talking about tomorrow when I start the stream? Even that's not right. No, it can't be 5 a.m. in India, is it? 5 p.m. maybe. By the way, Boredo likes my PJ Masks Marvel thing. Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That video tanked. Though I am trying something new with these videos, guys. Do you notice? I'm trying to do more of these like unboxing type videos. I'm trying to do more of these unboxing style videos where I'm taking toys and then drawing them. So I think that would be a fun niche. If I could get that to catch on, I think that would be a lot of fun. If I get to buy toys for a living, buy toys and just draw them. I think that's a real fun niche. So we'll hopefully that will catch on. Like I know it'll take a little bit of time, just like anything else, guys. Like I'm I know my whole audience is not gonna like this stuff, but if I could get that to catch on, which is why I'm doing a lot of the Lego stuff too, right? You guys notice I've been doing a lot of Lego recently. Because, I kind of want that to catch on. It's a lot of fun. By drawing toys. It was an idea I had a long time ago. I used to have One of you might notice that one of my channels, like the original name was Daddy Draws. And that channel, what I was going to do is like a couple things. Like my son would buy a toy and then I would draw it. That was my premise for that channel. So it's kind of like that, like where I'd like to do something where I just buy a lot of toys and I draw it. I draw the toy. So that's why I'm actually excited to do, and hopefully I'd get more XM stuff. Like it's just a way for me to get free toys, guys. That's all I care about. Give me more toys. Give me more toys. XM Studios, are you listening? XM Studios, I could really use some toys right now. XM Studios. Reese really wants a tidal wave. Last time I drew a tidal wave was when I did that issue of Energon, I think. You like Energon? So 5 a.m. Mountain Time? Oh, huh? There's no way it's 5 a.m. in India right now. There's no way it's 5 a.m. Someone look it up. There's no way it's 5 a.m. in India. There's no way. No way it's 5 a.m. It's 7:11 a.m. Here in Toronto. There's no way. India's on the other side of the world. There's no way. Anyway, that's PM. It's got to be PM. There you go. It's PM. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Money, for clarifying that for me. Getting confused here. Getting confused with my size here. So, my friends, I think we're coming down to the end of this piece. This was a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun to do. Nothing too spectacular. It's not going to win any awards or anything, but it was a lot of fun to draw with you. At the end of the day, guys, I'm just having a good time drawing with you guys online here. So that's all you can ask for, right? It's 4:11 in California. That's right. Care Bear's up late. Watching me up late. Going to bed at 5 a.m. every day. Thank you, my friend Care Bear. 5 a.m. Good morning. Good morning, good evening, good night. Okay, so I'm adding just some extra unnecessary detail. Break out the unnecessary detail song. We haven't broken that out in a while. You guys remember that song? I got to find that. My friend Taylor came up with that song. Unnecessary detail, unnecessary detail, unnecessary detail, unnecessary detail. Tail. Unnecessary detail. See, I'm just adding lines for the sake of drawing lines. I don't need to do any of this stuff. See, because, again, I could have went here with a ruler. Would it be more refined? Sure. It definitely would have been more refined. And it would have made for a better drawing, sure. But what I've done here, it actually just does the job. Like, it's enough to sell what it is. So I guess it's all about, like, if I'm how into I'm buildings I feel like drawing that morning, right? So, okay, guys. I think we're down to the end of this stream for today. So thank you guys for listening in to my rant about DC. If you missed my rant about DC, check out the Box Office Artist podcast. Today, 3 podcasts are coming out because I had some issues with my podcaster, and they couldn't put in the my podcast, but we got that all figured out. So today, guys, if you missed any of the streams last week, want to hear what I talk about, it's nice to listen to while you're jogging or you're going to the gym. Let me motivate you with my art talk. Or even just something to put on in the background while you're drawing. By all means, please do check out the Box Office Artist podcast. Gotta get my friend Apple on the podcast. We should talk on the podcast, brother. But yeah, my friends. So there it is, my friends. Let me just scan it here. This was a lot of fun. So thank you guys for putting this together. Thank you to I forgot who my friend. I said him every day who did this. Okay. So every day we do this. I forgot you told me to do this, but here it is. Let's do it. Just do a quick pan here. That is Barney and Friends as Godzilla. Okay, Barney and Friends as Godzilla. This is a lot of fun to do. So thank you guys for watching. I know my friend Thomas will have a lot of fun coloring this particular piece. This is one of the easier pieces I've given him recently. So hopefully he enjoys it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, let me know what you want me to draw tomorrow. Okay, I might change my mind. If you don't hear from me, most likely we are doing Loki tomorrow. Loki tribute piece tomorrow that will go with the rest of my Marvel Phase 4 piece. But again, always open to your ideas, and even what we're going to do on the weekend, always open to your ideas. But thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best. Whatever you have planned today, please do stay safe and take care of yourself. And we will go from there. Give me a high five, my friends. High five right here. First of all, right in front of my face. High five. High five here. There you go. Give me a high five. And my name is James. I am the box office artist. I'm here to say keep drawing, raise and shine. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.